Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today on my channel we're going to be making something kind of fun. It's just a different take on a chicken pot pie. We're going to be making it in little muffin cups. So stay tuned for that recipe. And if you are new here, hit the subscribe button and always give me that thumbs up. So let's get into making our little crescent chicken pot pies. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we are going to lightly spray our muffin pan. And I think we're gonna do them all. We're gonna set that aside. And then we're gonna start in our large skillet over medium heat, and we're gonna melt some butter. And the butter is 2 tablespoons. Okay, so here is our 2 tablespoons of butter. I'm gonna just kind of cut it up a little bit. Get that melted. We're gonna put in some onion. And the onion says a half a large onion, but you can put as much or as little as you want. Sorry for the noise, because as you know, if my husband sees these in here, he will not eat it. Right now he's gone taking the grandkids home, so he doesn't know I'm adding this. These have been frozen. I like to chop my onions up and freeze them. So we're going to add some onions in here. I'm probably going to add about a half a cup. You add as many as you like. And then if you want to use fresh carrots, you can, and fresh celery. I don't put celery in mine. I do have some frozen carrots and peas. We're also going to be adding some salt and pepper. I'm going to use, it says you can use some frozen corn also. About a half a cup of frozen peas, half a cup of frozen corn, half a cup of carrots. You can even use some, I have canned potatoes, them little diced potatoes. My hands are clean, sorry. So get that all incorporated pretty good. Get those onions cooked down for sure, so my hubby don't taste them or see them. Okay. We're going to be adding salt and pepper. I like my pepper. A little salt. The chicken is a rotisserie chicken, so it's going to have some salt on it and some other seasonings. We're going to add a little thyme in here. Let me grab my thyme. I got thyme. You got thyme? Got a little thyme here. And we are going to preheat our oven to 375. So I've done that. I'm going to get a little corn in here, but I'm just going to use some canned corn. You can use canned stuff too if you would like. I do definitely like the frozen peas. I just think they taste better in this. Okay, we're going to add a little corn. I have opened this and drained it, just a little. We don't need a lot of corn. We'll have this on the side with our dinner another night. That's pretty, isn't it? That is pretty. Okay. I may add those diced potatoes in there. I will see. So now we're going to cook it. If you had fresh carrots, you cook it about 3 minutes until it's soft. And then we're going to add a couple tablespoons of flour. Going to make it a little thick. We're going to then add in our chicken broth, which is 2/3 of a cup. And what I did was I used this herb granulated bouillon. Makes good chicken broth. So we're going to stir that around in there. Get that flour incorporated. And then we're going to add in some heavy cream. That's going to be so good. Okay, we're going to add in a 1/2 cup of heavy cream. This is going to make that juicy, gooey part that will be so good, like the gravy part in the chicken pot pie. That looks so good. If you think it's a little too thick, you can add a little more chicken broth. Okay, you bring that to a boil and then you turn it down to simmer, and you're going to simmer it about 5 minutes. Stir it until it's thickened, and it's about there already, I would say. And then after it's thickened, we're going to stir in the chicken. And like I said, I'm using a rotisserie chicken that I had picked off. This is about 1 pound. That's about 2 cups maybe. Give that a good stir, combine that. And I think it looks pretty good. I might add a little bit more chicken stock. Maybe you do a little touch more of water with a little more of this bouillon. Stir that up in there. And then we're going to let that simmer a little bit more. So we're going to simmer that a little bit and see where we are. Okay, and I apologize if you could hear the news on in the background. I didn't even realize that was on in the background. My husband came in earlier and turned that on. I don't listen to that stuff usually unless he's here, but he's taking the grandkids home. Okay, so we're gonna, I think we're where we want to be here. We're gonna set that aside, turn that off, and I'm gonna set it over here. Okay, now I've just put a little bit of flour on my surface. What we're gonna do is we're gonna take a can of crescent rolls, and we're gonna use the crescent roll dough to make our pastry part of our chicken pot pie. So let's get this opened. And you're going to take the whole sheet of the dough and we're going to roll it out together. Not you and I together, but all together. So let's unroll it. And we're going to lay it on the counter. Hope you can see what I'm doing. And we're going to pinch, this is tore right here, and you're going to pinch all the seams together. We're just going to make this one sheet of pastry dough that way. So pinch all your seams together, and then we're going to roll it out. And our goal is to get 12 squares out of this dough to go into our muffin pan, okay? So let me get my rolling pin and get to rolling. Okay, let me put a little on top. I don't want it to stick. Let me turn this over. I'm going to pinch these seams again. Try to get that all to where it rolls out into one thing, right? And I don't know how much to roll. I just know we got to get 12 squares out of it, right? So I would say maybe a little bit more down this way. I'm just afraid this is going to stick. Okay, I think we'll get 12 out of it that way. Okay, so here we go. Bumping into stuff over here. I think if I go about there, maybe a little bit more. And then we need to get 4. I think I just boo-booed. I think I need to do 4 rows, not 3. Okay, we're gonna try this over, see? Nothing or no one is perfect in this world. You see all my flaws and my mistakes. Don't do what I did. I thought I was gonna get 12 and I would have only got 9 that way. Okay, so we're gonna do 4 rows and 3 across. How about that? So let's try that. If I did down the middle and then down the middle of this. Now my mind is working. My brain is working right now. Yay, Debbie. And then we're going to go across like this. They're not going to be equal, but we're going to make it work. And there are my 12 squares. Okay, so then you're going to take your squares and you're just going to place them in your muffin cups like so. And when we get all these in here, then we will be scooping in our pot pie filling. And this one came apart, so we're just going to squeeze it back together. Just continue doing this until we get them all filled. Okay, so we have all our little pastries in there. So now we're going to add in our filling and then we'll get them in the oven. So we're going to put our chicken and our peas and carrots, scoop it in here, and I don't know how much to scoop in here because I have never made this, so we're just going to do trial and error here. I don't know, but we will figure it out together. And we have plenty of filling for sure. And it's pretty messy. Like I said, everything I make is not always a good looker, but they're a good taster. It's gonna taste good. We don't want to waste any of this. Okay, so we're gonna pop this in the 375-degree oven for about 15 minutes. What we're doing is really just cooking our crescent rolls. Okay, they just came out. This is what they look like. Ooh. They're smelling delicious. Okay, let's get one of these little babies out of here. Oh, see how they cooked on the bottoms? Perfect. Ooh, she hot. I think I better get a fork. Okay, I'm back. Okay, let's cut into this. Ooh, it's still steaming. Can you see it steaming? Let's get a little bite of the crescent. A little bite of the chicken. Oh my, I don't know. This might be too hot. Okay, we'll try it. Mmm. That has a wonderful flavor. That thyme in there, you can taste that little bit of thyme. And shh, those onions I snuck in there gives it a good flavor. And the crescent rolls are done just perfectly. This is so fun. This would be a good little like appetizer that you could give somebody or make for something. Try this out. And if you wanted your dough thicker, I had even thought maybe using 2 cans and rolling it out a little thicker, but then you'd have to cook it longer. So hope you try this. And until next time, take care of yourself and each other. Bye. They're pretty tasty, honey.
Oh, they look really good, Deb.
Mm-hmm. Want to try a bite?
Mm-hmm. They do look really good.